Dear audience friends, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's get started.
Allow me to introduce you to the central character of this narrative, my close friend Clara. It may sound straightforward, but hold on until you hear the rest. And please keep in mind that this account is my personal perspective, so I kindly ask for your patience. My dear friend Clara is on the verge of getting married. Yes, you heard correctly. The same girl who used to share cookies and secrets with me during lunch breaks and under the starry sky is about to take the momentous leap. However, before reaching the altar, there was an important item on the agenda, the bachelorette party. It was our responsibility, as a group of friends who were like sisters to Clara, to make this bachelorette party unforgettable. It was as if we had a mission to ensure that Clara would have a night to remember, in the best possible way, of course. We decided to organize a private dance for her, one of those performances by attractive and provocative male strippers. We were confident that nothing could go wrong. Each of us had specific roles. Carmen was in charge of the music, Martina took care of the food, Valeria supervised the decorations, and as for me, let's just say I was the overall director of fun. Someone had to take charge, right? It's hard to believe that we were about to throw Clara into one of the wildest bachelorette parties ever. But guess what? It was going to be absolutely amazing. Let me take you behind the scenes as we prepared to surprise Clara in the most epic way possible. As I mentioned earlier, Clara is the girl with the radiant smile who is about to become a wife. It feels surreal, to be honest. Every time I think about it, I find myself wondering how we got to this point. But that's not what matters right now. What matters is the bachelorette party we were planning. My friends and I have been secretly conspiring, communicating through knowing glances and uncontrollable giggles that have become our special language. We wanted this party to be a whirlwind of fun, something that Clara would cherish forever. So, here's the plan, the strippers. Yes, you heard that correctly. We wanted to add a touch of sensuality and enjoyment to the party, and what better way to do that than with a private dance performed by handsome men who know how to move in a seductive manner. The idea came up during one of our party planning meetings, and we all immediately agreed. Well, except for Valeria, who made a slightly strange face, but deep down, we knew she was excited too. With our roles assigned, we began working on the preparations. Carmen, with her impeccable musical sense, took charge of creating the perfect playlist for the event. Trust me, it wasn't just about catchy tunes, it was a carefully crafted masterpiece of rhythm and playfulness. Martina, our group's amateur chef, was responsible for the food. We're talking about mouth-watering snacks that you could savor with your eyes closed and still feel like you're in paradise. And of course, a bachelorette party wouldn't be complete without some champagne for toasting. Valeria, our aesthetics enthusiast, went all out with the decorations. I admit her obsession might have been a bit excessive, but no one can deny her talent for transforming an ordinary space into something truly magical. I have complete faith that she will make the venue look like a dream come true. And then there's me. I may not have a specific skill like the others, but I'm here to ensure that everything runs smoothly and that everyone is on the same page. Plus, I'm responsible for getting Clara to the venue without her suspecting anything. The surprise has to be perfect. Days flew by as we all worked tirelessly, like busy ants, to make sure everything was in order. Finally, the day of the bachelorette party arrived. We were all filled with excitement and anticipation, eager to surprise Clara. I couldn't wait to see the look on her face when she walked through that door and encountered the organized chaos we had prepared. The night came and the venue was ready. The place was adorned with lights, music filled the air, and the food was patiently waiting to be devoured. Oh, and there was a little bit of alcohol too. We were all dressed up and ready to rock. And then, as if everything had been perfectly choreographed, Clara entered the venue, blindfolded, of course. The surprise was underway. The music started playing, and the lights gradually illuminated the room. Clara removed the blindfold from her eyes, and the surprise was an absolute success. The expression on her face was a delightful mix of surprise, fun, and embarrassment. We couldn't take our eyes off her because her reaction was so entertaining. And there they were, the strippers, making their triumphant entrance. The guys smiled and swayed to the rhythm of the music, and Clara, well, let's just say her face turned as red as the brightest decorations in the room. The party continued with laughter, dancing, and moments of pure madness. Clara began to relax, and that was all we wanted. Seeing her enjoy herself and let loose at her bachelorette party was the ultimate reward. This bachelorette party was reaching levels of fun that I couldn't have even imagined in my wildest dreams. The night progressed, and the energy reached its peak. But there was something that added an extra spark to the euphoria: alcohol. Yes, you know, that magical liquid that makes everything more enjoyable, until it doesn't. After the initial surprise of the strippers, which was quite an experience, the party continued. Clara finally got over the initial shock and joined us on the dance floor. Laughter and extravagant movements took center stage as we let the music guide us. I remember Carmen taking the lead and playing a mix of songs that made us want to shake our bodies. The uncoordinated moves and embarrassing dance steps, which we later blamed on the alcohol, created an atmosphere of complete uninhibition. If someone had been watching us at that moment, they would have surely laughed until they cried. With each drink we had, the laughter grew louder, the jokes became more uninhibited, and the conversations became wilder. You know when people say, "I'll spill everything." Well, at this party, that's exactly what was happening, and more. Confessions were flying left and right, and we found ourselves sharing secrets we didn't even know we had. The dance floor became a zone of total liberation, where all the awkward moves we usually hide became the norm. Valeria, who usually cared a lot about her image, surprised us all by dancing in a way we had never seen before. Who would have thought she would be the first one to get on a chair and let loose? And as for me, well, let's just say my attempts at dancing resulted in a series of falls and hysterical laughter. I can't even remember the last time I laughed this much. The party turned into a night of pure uninhibited laughter and spontaneous moments that will be etched in my mind forever. But wait, there's more. As the night progressed, we decided it was time to give Clara the second surprise we had prepared. We gathered in a corner, whispering and exchanging mischievous smiles, all while stealing glances at Clara, who was busy shaking her hips on the dance floor. When the perfect moment arrived, Carmen approached the stage and changed the song. An energetic melody started playing, and we all headed toward Clara, who seemed a bit confused by the sudden attention. We took each other's hands and started dancing in an improvised choreography, mixing wild movements with uncontrollable laughter. The surprise on Clara's face was priceless. I could see tears of happiness welling up in her eyes as we included her in this special moment. The choreography wasn't perfect, and in fact, it was a complete mess, but that's what made it incredibly fun and meaningful. We moved around Clara, creating a circle of friends celebrating her upcoming marriage in a way that only we could understand. The joy was contagious, and soon we realized that other guests at the party were also joining our impromptu choreography. The song came to an end, and we all collapsed onto the ground, laughing and gasping for breath. Clara embraced all of us, expressing her gratitude for this unforgettable surprise. Even though the night was starting to become a bit blurry due to the effects of alcohol, one thing remained clear: we had created a memory that would last a lifetime. The party continued to overflow with energy and laughter as the night progressed. Amidst the flashing lights, vibrant music, and glasses that kept getting refilled, we were all in a state of total euphoria. What a way to celebrate a bachelorette party! But wait, that's not all. We knew we had one last surprise in store, the grand finale that would make this night truly unforgettable. We exchanged knowing glances, fully aware that this moment would be the climax of the madness we had planned. And so, here it was, another dance from the strippers, but this time with a twist. The small stage was approached, and the guys prepared for their final performance. However, this time, Clara would be the star. Yes, you read that right. Clara would step onto the stage while the strippers performed their dance exclusively for her. Now, before you think we've completely lost our minds, let me explain. Clara, influenced by alcohol and in a more relaxed state than usual, was fully on board with this idea. We weren't pressuring her, we simply wanted her to have a truly unforgettable memory of her bachelorette party. We looked at her, applauding and encouraging her to take the stage. Clara, with a nervous laugh and a smile that stretched from ear to ear, accepted the proposal. As she stepped onto the stage, we could feel her excitement. The guys began their performance, and the room filled with laughter and mischievous sighs. Clara, drink in hand, laughed openly as the strippers showcased their sensual and provocative moves. It was impossible not to catch her enthusiasm and joy. As we watched, we all got caught up in the fun and cheeky atmosphere. Clara, in the midst of the spectacle, joined in the revelry. Her moves ranged from awkward and shy to daring and playful. Even in the midst of it all, her dazzling smile never faded. Minutes flew by as the party continued with laughter and teasing. Clara, momentarily forgetting her inhibitions, seemed to be enjoying every second of this unusual experience. I couldn't help but think that the combination of alcohol and fun was creating a perfect cocktail for a night of wild abandon. Between laughter and dancing, none of us could have anticipated what was about to happen. The strippers, in the middle of their provocative dance, did something none of us expected. Picture this: dim lights, energetic music, and girls laughing. In the center of the stage, Clara was surrounded by the strippers, who continued their seductive choreography. Everything seemed to be in a state of fun and total euphoria. But then, something changed. In the midst of the dance, the strippers started removing Clara's clothes. The surprise on our faces was unmistakable. We couldn't believe what we were witnessing. Clara, in a state of joy and influenced by alcohol, went along with it, laughing and joking as they surrounded her. The atmosphere became hotter and charged with sensual energy. The girls, including us, started cheering and applauding, thinking this was all part of the show. Clara seemed to be enjoying the attention, and we were all caught up in the moment. But what happened next left all of us speechless. One of the strippers, the boldest of them all, stepped forward. His gaze met Clara's, and in an instant everything changed. He approached her with overflowing confidence, and what happened next was absolutely unexpected. In the middle of the stage, Clara and the stripper began passionately kissing. Laughter and applause transformed into whispers of surprise and shock. The movements became more intense and fiery, and it was clear that Clara was fully immersed in the moment, not thinking about anything else. The girls around us looked at each other in disbelief and astonishment, unable to comprehend what we were witnessing. The atmosphere had completely shifted, and we were all hypnotized by the spectacle unfolding before us. Clara, in a state of euphoria and uninhibition, seemed completely absorbed in the moment. The music continued playing in the background as Clara and the stripper carried on with their provocative interaction. The movements became bolder, and all eyes were fixed on them. Despite the initial surprise, some of us couldn't help but feel intrigued by what was happening on the stage. While some guests looked on in disbelief, others started taking out their phones and recording the scene. Nervous laughter and whispers blended with the music, creating an atmosphere charged with mixed emotions. Some of the girls clapped and cheered, while others seemed taken aback. As the moment progressed, tension filled the room. Clara and the stripper appeared to be completely absorbed in each other, paying no attention to their surroundings. The stage became their own world of intensity and desire. As emotions continued to escalate, they started engaging in more intimate activities. The girls around us were in a state of bewilderment and surprise. No one could have foreseen this turn of events in the night. Reactions varied, some couldn't believe it, others nervously smiled, and some didn't know how to react at all. As the performance reached its climax, an uncomfortable silence fell over the room. Clara and the stripper parted, both breathing heavily, their expressions showing a combination of surprise and satisfaction. The music continued playing, but the atmosphere had drastically shifted. The girls around us were in a state of astonishment and confusion. The silence was broken by uncertain, nervous applause. Some tried to laugh, attempting to regain a sense of normalcy after what had just happened. Clara, with a smile that seemed to mix disbelief and amusement, stepped down from the stage. The girls looked at each other, speechless, unable to put into words what we had just witnessed. The party continued, but the energy had changed. We were all processing what had transpired, trying to comprehend how we went from a night of laughter and dancing to this unexpected and heated moment. Conversations were hushed and uneasy as emotions continued to churn. As the night progressed, the girls started dispersing, and the party turned into a memory we would never forget. As I left the venue, I carried an experience that had left an indelible mark on my mind and heart. The sun shone through the curtains of my room as I opened my eyes the next morning. My head throbbed with the echoes of the previous night, and I tried to recall all the details of Clara's bachelorette party. Memories unfolded in my mind, and I felt a mixture of emotions ranging from fun to astonishment at what had transpired. I got out of bed and headed to the kitchen in search of something to ease my headache. While sipping a glass of water, my phone rang. It was a message from one of the party girls. I opened it and read the text with surprise. It said, "You need to talk to Clara. It's urgent." My heart started racing as I dialed Clara's number. After what felt like an eternity, she answered, her voice trembling. "Hello," she said. "Hey. Are you okay?" I asked, concerned by her tone. "Listen," Clara said urgently. "Last night, after the party, I received a call from my friend Daniela. She told me that a video from the bachelorette party ended up on my fiancé's phone." My heart skipped a beat as I processed the information. "A video? What are you talking about?" "One of the guests recorded part of the stripper's performance, and in the video, well, that part where, you know, the stripper and I." My mind raced to comprehend what she was saying. My pulse quickened as I realized that the unexpected moment between Clara and the stripper had been captured on video. "Oh no," I whispered, feeling a knot form in my stomach. "Exactly," Clara responded, her voice tinged with sadness. "The video ended up in my fiancé's hands, and he didn't react well. He called me, furious and devastated. He couldn't believe what he saw and considered it a betrayal." My hands shook as I listened to Clara's distress. "What are you going to do?" Clara sighed. "I don't know. We had a terrible fight over the phone, and he finally said he didn't want to go through with the wedding after what he saw. We broke up, and the wedding is cancelled." A lump formed in my throat as I heard the devastating news. Clara's wedding, which we had been celebrating and eagerly anticipating, had been shattered in an instant due to an ill-timed video. "Clara, I'm so sorry," I said, feeling the helplessness in my words. "Thank you," Clara replied, her voice choked with tears. "I never thought this would happen. All the happiness and plans we had, it's all over." Clara's words hung in the air, and I didn't know what to say to comfort her. The reality of the situation was overwhelming, and it felt like we were caught in the middle of a problem with no easy solution. "How are you?" I finally asked, searching for some way to support her. Clara sighed. "I'm broken, angry, confused. I feel like everything has been turned upside down. But I also feel like maybe this is a sign that there were issues in our relationship that we didn't see. I don't know, it's hard to explain." I could hear the sadness in her voice, and I realized Clara was struggling to find meaning amidst this painful situation. "I'm here for you, Clara. If you need to talk or just let it out, I'm here." "Thank you, really," Clara said with gratitude. "This is hard to process, and I can't help but feel like all this madness started with the bachelorette party." "Yes, it's true," I responded honestly. "We could have never imagined something like this would happen. No matter how many times I replay it in my head, it's still surreal," Clara said with a sigh. "We just wanted to have a fun bachelorette party, and we never thought it would end like this. Definitely, it was a series of unpredictable events, I said, trying to find comforting words. Thank you for being here and listening, Clara said with appreciation. I know it's not easy for you either, after everything we planned. You don't have to thank me, Clara. I'm here to support you in whatever you need, I assured her. We spent some time talking, sharing our feelings, and trying to understand how everything had led to this point. As the conversation progressed, I sensed that Clara was starting to process her emotions and find some clarity amidst the confusion. Finally, Clara sighed. I guess I can only take this as a life lesson. Things can change in an instant, and sometimes we can't control what happens. I can only hope that I'll eventually find a way to move forward. I'm sure you will, Clara. You're strong, I said sincerely. After saying goodbye to Clara, I hung up the phone and reflected on everything that had happened. The bachelorette party, which had begun with so much excitement, had led to a series of unexpected events that had irreversibly altered the course of things.